For the Federation Chamber is that grievances be noted, and I give the call to the member for New England.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker, and it's great to get this opportunity to take you for a little wander around the world, which I want to do right here. I want to take you for a wander around the world. I want you to take you for a wander around the nuclear world and enlighten people about how Australia is now an outlier, a ridiculous outlier. Let's just start, Mr Deputy Speaker, with who uses nuclear power in North America. Remember, North America's Death Valley, it's got hot areas, it's got sunny areas, it's got windy areas, it's got everything that they, asset that they attribute to Australia. Well, Canada uses nuclear power. In fact, in Ontario, it's about half the price of power that we have. The United States has nuclear power, and Mexico has nuclear power. So we have a clean sweep in America, not in Central America, but in America. But you might say, well, that's unusual or not unique. So let's go for a wander around Europe. Let's go for a wander around Europe. And who uses nuclear power? Spain uses it. France uses it. Belgium. These are people who actually have nuclear reactors. The ones with nuclear reactors that produce electricity from them is Spain, France, Belgium, Netherlands, Switzerland, Slovenia, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Bulgaria, Romania, Ukraine, Belarus, Finland, Sweden. And then you say, oh, hang on, you've left Germany out. No, they use it from France. And what France is doing at the moment is their power is around about our price, and people think, oh, what's the trick there? Well, they're making a bucket load of money out of the Germans because the Germans are using the French nuclear power. And so it's working out. They're absolutely creaming it in France. And the Germans are trying to refurbish their coal-fired power plants. But then you think, well, maybe it's just a European thing and an American thing. So this is the one that's interesting. This. Oh, by the way, going back to Europe, the other countries that are developing it are Estonia, Latvia, Poland, and Italy. They're actually in the process of developing it. So you almost got a clean sweep through Europe. We've almost got a clean sweep through North America, and we've virtually got a clean sweep through Europe. There's only a couple of countries, Ireland being one, possibly Portugal, but they could be using it from Spain, that doesn't use nuclear power. Maybe, and Denmark, they could actually pick it up from France as well. They could be picking up from the Netherlands, and when Poland gets going, they could be picking up from Poland. Let's go to Africa. Now, I think that we've probably got some advantages over Africa. Oh, no, yeah, you're dead right. This is the myth. You can't afford it. It's so expensive. Well, there's a few countries that apparently believe they can afford it. South Africa already has it. And these are the countries that are now developing it. Senegal, Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Nigeria, Ghana, Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, Zambia. So I hope we're starting to, just a penny starting to drop somewhere. The world has changed. The world is moving on. And it's leaving us behind with Zimbabwe, Namibia, Angola. There's a couple of other countries that are just like us. Angola's just like us. It's not looking at it either. Somalia. We've got a friend in Somalia. They're not looking at it. So this is ludicrous. So let's go to the Middle East. Well, the countries that use it, Iran, Pakistan, United Arab Emirates. Of course, Russia uses it. We won't even need to say Russia. But these are the countries now developing it. Uzbekistan, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Turkey, Egypt, and of course the United Arab Emirates. Oh, by the way, the United Arab Emirates got 4 plants. It took them 8 years to get the first one up and running. It was operational. It was producing electrons for the grid within 8 years. And what's so frustrating about this, Mr Deputy Speaker, is there's a lot of Australian expertise up there that actually assists in this. From the legislation, helping them draw up the legislation, world's best gold standard practice, Australians actually in that process, technicians, but the one place these Australians can't work is here, because we don't actually have it. But maybe it's just in the Middle East, Africa, Europe and North America. So let's go to Southeast Asia. China, of course, is in the next 15 years is in the process of developing 150 new nuclear reactors. I'll repeat that. In the next 15 years, they're looking at producing going into the production and the planning of another 150 150 new nuclear reactors. And they're using it as a mechanism with Russia to leverage their influence into other countries, because they're saying, we'll provide you the technology to do this. This is why a lot of those countries in Africa are on board. Now, wouldn't it, if we want to have a moral movement of effect in the world, wouldn't we be saying use our technology so that we can put our fingerprints on this? But let's go through Southeast Asia. Japan uses it, South Korea uses it, China uses it, India uses it. In fact, they're expanding it. In fact, South Korea and Japan actually are at the forefront of the technology of developing nuclear reactors that they sell to other countries. But then let's go to the people who are developing it. Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia and the Philippines. So, they're all in the process of development. They're way ahead of us. Now, Mr. Speaker, there are two countries, away from Angola and Somalia, there are two countries noted in the world that have gone nowhere near this. Two, New Zealand and Australia. We're out there. We are really out there. Even Greta Thunberg supports nuclear energy. So it is this ridiculous position that we have got ourselves into this country, where we are sort of Luddites. We are sitting back decades. We are literally sitting back in last century in our view of this technology. And the world has just moved on. Let's really simple things. Most of these nuclear reactors, enrichment for plutonium for atomic weapons, which is very dangerous, it's 98%. These nuclear reactors, we're talking about nothing, most of it is not beyond 5. It's not beyond 5%. It's completely different technology that so many people are just unaware of. The people who are most unaware of it, who are the most basically nuclear power illiterate, are us. We have a nuclear reactor bang smack in the middle of Sydney, and incredibly smart people, but the production of nuclear power, we're the ones who are illiterate, yet the reports we rely on to underwrite our ignorance are Australian reports, but Australia doesn't produce nuclear energy. We should be using the Finnish reports, or the French reports, or the Canadian reports, or the American reports, or the Chinese reports, or the Russian reports, or the Estonian reports, or the Spanish reports, or the Brazilian reports, or the Argentinian reports, or the Mexican reports, for all these other parts of the world. Our role, and we're seeing it right now. Right now, in a few hours, they're going to start, or they've already started voting in America, actually. They started in I think it's New Hampshire, all 6 of them. But what we've got to understand, Australia has one role. To be quite frank, the rise of totalitarianism in comparison to democracies is vastly more evident and vastly more powerful than it was before the Second World War. There is absolutely no doubt about it. If you look at the totalitarian countries, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, who are sending their troops over now to the Ukraine, so this is real, they're vastly more powerful than the comparative power of the fascists before the start of the Second World War. What does that mean for us? It means don't panic, but become as powerful as possible, as quickly as possible. Every section of what you do must be at the top. You must be the top in education, you must be at the top in agriculture, you must be the top in manufacturing, and you must be the top in nuclear technology and power. You must be at the top. And this is one of the areas that we've got to do. We've just got to accept the reality of where the world is and get on board. I'll give you another little epiphany, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Sweden, they've got 14 offshore swindle factories, wind farms, whatever you want to call them. Anyway, they're closing 13 of them down. They're out of it. It's just not working for them. They've got massive environmental concerns about them. They've got massive strategic concerns about them, especially with submariners and strategic issues and how sonar works and the problems that's caused. And I don't want our nation to be up to their throat in an obsolete technology that just reality comes and belts us on the head about and says, why on earth did you do that? The answer was right before you. It was right in front of you. But your own willful ignorance took your nation to a weaker spot.
And I thank the member for New England.